Let's see here. No. Okay, good. Thank the Lord.
Why, it wasn't working?
No, no, don't worry about it. I pressed something and I thought it was gonna pop up on the secondary screen, and then I was gonna freak out because it's happened once before. Just like my emails, like no, not like your personal, my banking information. It's like, oh no, don't. Not that there's much to be taken. Internet. All right, we're back 2 weeks later from our epic freezing, which then in turn turned all the shows into freezing. I did a bunch of research. I got it to where we won't freeze anymore. I'm saying that now, but we will see. Jerry's already in the chat. Great to see it, Jerry. I know you're going to love Stu's football, soccer, also football, and a little bit of basketball talk that he's got set up for you today. So let's jump right into it, Sidhu. Let me first off say, football jerseys, not that comfortable to wear.
They're not that comfortable. They're kind of heavy.
It's restricting in the arms. It's surprisingly restricting in the arms. But
yeah, it looks like you got an authentic on too, which is like high, that's high end. Yeah, that's high end, bro. I have always found the best way to wear football jerseys. I don't like wearing them personally, but if you are gonna wear one, it's actually over a sweatshirt.
Yeah, I can see that. A thin sweatshirt.
Yeah. Yes, but that's the best way to wear it, and it kind of makes sense if you're going to a football game, is to throw on a sweatshirt because it's going to be freezing cold, right, when you're at a football game, and then you have your jersey. That's really the best way to wear it, because unless you're, like, super yoked, bro, like, what are you going to do, walk around the football jersey just, like,
Well, a soccer football jersey is very breathy. It's nice, the texture and shit. It doesn't have as many sewing things going on. But I figured I knew we were going to talk football. I only wear this. I wear it on Super Bowl Sunday, and I used to wear it if I went to games, but that's not even an option anymore, unfortunately. Fucking East Bay. But let me ask you a little trivia question, Mr. Football.
Okay.
Who wore this jersey before Marshawn?
Charles Woodson.
Sidhu knows.
Bro, that's easy. My brother, who is a die-hard Raiders fan, who literally
should be.
Yeah, he has a Raiders flag outside of his house.
Hell yeah.
And he is so devoted to the Raiders that his wife had to buy a new flag because the old one was kind of like getting worn out in the wind. So she got a new one to put up there for him, with football season right around the corner.
Sean's a good man.
Sean's super into it, and Charles Woodson was his favorite player.
That was my favorite player growing up.
Yeah, so he's a huge Charles Woodson fan. So we have a bunch of, he pretty much has a bunch of 24 jerseys around the house. So I'm aware of Charles Woodson.
I did his picture framing.
Wow.
I never told you that story.
No, you did not tell me this story.
So this very attractive younger lady comes in. And instantly you're like, this chick's a model or something. She's Charles Woodson's assistant. She's a former Raiderette. She was a Raiderette. She retired at some point, maybe around the same time as Woodson, became his personal assistant.
Crazy. That's pretty dope.
And it was it was obvious because when she busted out what they needed framed, it was like all, it was him. You're like newspaper articles, whatever. It was all Woodson stuff. So we ended up framing a ton of different stuff for him, for his office or something.
He is, I don't know him obviously personally, but from everything I've read about him, he's also known as a really good guy.
I bet he is.
He's one of those straight up good dudes that everyone speaks highly about. In fact, one of the people. This is a transition, folks.
Okay.
One of the people who speaks so highly of him is the person featured on your screen right there, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is a huge Charles Woodson fan. Charles Woodson actually went to the Packers from the Raiders and won a Super Bowl with the Packers back in 2010, I want to say. So he won a Super Bowl there, and then the Packers around the mid-2010s decided to get rid of Charles Woodson, a few other guys who were leaders on the team. And this actually was the beginning of Aaron Rodgers kind of souring on his relationship with the Packers. Because he was like, "Look, I love Charles Woodson. We need someone like Charles Woodson on this team, and you're trading him away, which is making it harder for me to win." right?
Did he
Bill,
not come back to the Bay Area and retire? Just
he
sorry to
did.
interrupt.
He came to the Raiders and retired as a Raider, I believe,
That's
was
what.
how he
Yeah,
did. Wanted
yeah.
to retire as a Raider, which that's pretty awesome. And
Respectable again, dude. Dope,
bro,
dude.
when a guy leaves a franchise, goes to another franchise and wins a Super Bowl, like oftentimes the franchise that he left is kind of feeling a little bit bad about, like, oh, this guy went over there and he won, whatever. But Raider fans were so happy for Charles Woodson, which tells you how good of a person he was. You don't build up that kind of connection with your fan base unless you're like a good dude. Because it's
He stuck with the
building that.
team for a long time too.
He stuck with the team, bro. But as you know, as a fan of the Warriors or just anything, you of course love guys who are great players. You always cheer for. But if a great player is a good dude,
Yeah.
you ride for them like no other, bro. And that's the thing that Charles Woodson had, is he's a good dude, and that's why people loved him. And to that point, Aaron Rodgers was really upset. And that actually started, like I said, the kind of dissolution of his relationship with the Packers. And so this past offseason, Aaron Rodgers was traded to the Jets. The Jets last season, without a star quarterback, had a really good year. And everyone kind of felt like, man, if they get a great quarterback in there, they can win a Super Bowl. Well, enter Aaron Rodgers, and on this little screen, a little picture you can see right there, is his handshake with his teammate where they pretend that they're smoking weed. Yes,
That's what that is. That's what that
That's
is.
exactly what. Yes, it's him smoking weed. Because Aaron Rodgers loves drugs. He's openly spoken about was it using peyote or whatever
Yeah.
whatever
Did
he
he
used.
go to like on one of those trips where you do like the
Oh,
crazy
yeah,
stuff?
ayahuasca was
Yeah,
what it
yeah,
was called.
yeah, 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 yeah.
On a tribal mission
Yep.
somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then this past off season, he did a dark retreat. It means that he like locked himself in a dark room for multiple days in order to clear his mind. And that after this darkness was retreat is when he came to the Packers and said, you know what? After my retreat, I want to trade. And so his darkness retreat helped him get a trade. So like he's on the Packers now, or sorry, he's on the Jets now. The Jets had a lot of expectations. New York City, shout out to Jer. They have a lot of expectations this year, and most likely they will not meet those expectations, and they will come crashing down to earth, and it will not be a great year for Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, you think
so
you're going with it's not going to pan out?
That's my take. Yeah, everyone's thinking it's going to work out. Everyone thinks they're going to be great. I don't. I think they are going to be like a 500 kind of team. So I don't think they're going to be getting anything special. So that's a storyline to watch, because if it doesn't work out and all the hype that this team has, and they're in New York City, that New York City press is going to destroy them, bro. They're going to destroy like Aaron Rodgers and everyone on that team if they don't perform this year. So that's a storyline to really keep track of. Of course, you have the normal storylines in football, like which team's going to break out, which player is going to break out, but that's not that exciting for, as you mentioned, our audience, which is not like super sports focused. But there's a couple other things I do want to touch on with the NFL before the season starts. So aside from the Jets, the other one is Russell Wilson, who used to play for the Seattle Seahawks, went to the Denver Broncos last year, had a horrible year. I don't know how much you saw this, Tubi, or even Jerry was watching, but like Russell Wilson's a very corny person.
I'm sorry, Siddhuey. Am I on the right page still?
You're the right track, because
Oh, we're
there's Russell Wilson.
right there. Okay, yeah.
I'm just going
Yeah,
through
you're
the
free
page.
ball. My bad. I just want to make sure I have the right stuff on the screen.
So Russell Wilson, if you remember, he used to end all of his press conferences last year with this little slogan, "Let's ride." I don't know if you heard this, Tubi, but he would finish his little press conference like, "Yeah, we got to play hard this week. We got to keep doing our thing. Let's ride," and then he would walk off. And this became a joke in the preseason of last year. Like, why the hell is he signing off by saying, "Let's ride"? It's so stupid, you know what I mean? But also kind of funny. And then he had a horrific year. Like, so bad. And he's also someone who's not very likable in general. So much so that the fan base bullied him into not saying "Let's ride," to stop saying "Let's ride." Like, he just ceased saying it because he got so bullied by the fan base based on his poor
What a
play.
loser!
So,
What a loser!
the big storyline for this year is, will "Let's Ride" return? Will Russell Wilson have a good enough year where he'll end his press conferences with "Let's ride"? That's one thing I'm looking at. And
Wait,
the last story.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Before you move off, are you?
Yeah.
Or is that Patrick Mahomes?
That's Patrick Mahomes. Bro, I'm going to talk about him in just a second. We're going to talk about him in just
which one's the one with the controversial brother that was like hitting women and doing weird stuff?
Patrick Mahomes.
That's Patrick Mahomes. That's Patrick
Yeah, he was
Mahomes. Russell
saying
Wilson's the
what
Seattle dude. He's Addie's dog.
he used to
He's-
be.
Oh,
Uh,
he's where's he now?
Denver. I told you he's in Denver now.
He's in
and
Denver
struggling.
now. Okay, I was looking at. I was trying to get an NFL schedule maybe to pull up. My bad.
Oh, no, we don't
Jerry
even-
also real quick because you mentioned Jerry and said the New York comment.
Yeah.
You forget Jerry's a Vikings fan for no reason at all.
Well, I mean, yeah, well, we've talked about that, but I'm just saying he's in New York City, so he'll
Yeah,
be
yeah,
front
yeah,
row
yeah.
seat, so to speak,
Yeah.
to the Jets. What I think will be an implosion this year. And I want to. There's Russell Wilson. and his
Okay,
Broncos.
I scrolled down. I messed up. I for some reason thought
doesn't matter.
Patrick Mahomes. Okay, he's the one with the controversial brother. We're on him. Okay, yeah.
He's on with the controversial brother. And that's his brother sucks. I hate him. But I will say this for Patrick Mahomes.
Creeper.
Patrick Mahomes is, huh?
He's a creeper, bro. I saw that like security footage. Creeper, bro.
Bro. Yeah, he's crazy. Terrible person. So is Patrick Mahomes' wife, who's awful as well.
Really? The wife sucks?
Dude, she's terrible.
Okay.
I'll give you an example of something she did, Tubi. Patrick Mahomes is playing in the playoffs, and they advanced to the conference championship, I think it was. She was sitting in the box seats, right? Because the wives sit in the box seats. They don't really sit, in regular seats, really. So they sit in the box
they
seats.
sit in like nice seats. Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense. It's freezing fucking cold. They don't want to be out there and like sitting in normal seats. They want to sit in heated stuff, right? With all their outfits and shit. So Patrick Mahomes' wife, they win the divisional championship. They're going to the Super Bowl. That's her. She decided to take a bunch of alcohol and just dump it on the fans in front of her, right? Who were sitting in front of her as like a celebration, right? They never consented to that, and she's just dumping alcohol on them. And then people criticize, like, why would you do that? Those people are freezing cold weather, and you're throwing alcohol all over them. And she says, stop attacking me, okay? Look, there it is.
Yeah,
I
got it. When you said that, I was like, I bet you I can find this.
Yeah.
And she's like all smiles about it.
Right. And then when everyone's like, what are you doing? She blamed everyone for attacking her. She has a lot of
She
white
posted
women.
it? She posted it?
Dude, it's a thing, bro.
Oh, it was champagne?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's just dumping on them. And there's a lot more of this too. Like her video is only 18 seconds or 12 seconds. There's like a lot more of her doing this. That I don't know if it's in those clips. But in any case, the point that and as you said, look at this person's comment. You should probably delete this video. There's nothing cool about spraying champagne on people who don't even know it's coming and it's cold. Like that is so true, right? There are kids being sprayed with alcohol for no reason. And she never could apologize. And by the way, this is just one incident. Like she has had a number of incidents, right? So this isn't the only thing that I'm kind of like, saying this to her. But she's terrible.
Her response, I honestly don't find it to be that bad. I do think it's awkward, but her response
is incredible.
A day later, she writes, I just wish I could do what I want without getting attacked every week. Dude, just apologize. Like you're a celebrity, pretty much. Just apologize and take the bullet.
The white womanness is strong with her.
Yeah. Very strong, it seems like.
Right? Yeah.
Is she a former athlete? Am I tripping?
No, she's literally just like a high school chick that hooked up with the high school quarterback and, took that all the way to fame, basically.
Oh, really? They've been dating since high school?
Yeah.
I got it right here, Siddhuey. I got it right here.
Yeah, she's his high school sweetheart and shit.
Here we go. There they are.
Yeah.
He was goofy looking back then, too.
He was. And, you also remember this dude grew up in West Texas. Having not even been there, but West Texas is nothing out there, bro. That's Friday Night Lights kind of stuff. That's that area. It's Permian Basin, all that kind of stuff, right?
I don't know, but I'll take your word for it.
West Texas, bro, it's oil. That's what it's oil fields. It's sparse. There's nothing there, right? So that's where he grew up. So it's that's probably the only cute chick in that area. Sorry to say, West Texas.
Siddhuey's going Charles Barkley on West Texas right here. He's going straight Charles Barkley on him. All right.
So in any case, the point is she's not a great person. Neither is
There's no,
her
no
his
attractive
brother.
people in West Texas. Get out of here.
uh, but to bring it back to the main point, which is Patrick Mahomes,
Mhm.
right? Setting aside the nonsense around him,
His family sucks. We established
yeah,
that.
family sucks.
Yeah.
Family sucks. Patrick Mahomes is the Michael Jordan of his sport. Do not get it
Really?
twisted. He is the greatest football player that has ever played. Do not, if anyone tells you differently, they don't know ball. Okay? That's the greatest football player ever. Right there. The guy that you're looking at. That's the best football player that's ever lived. Okay? And this man is on course to go win another Super Bowl this year, which would be his third in, I think, 7 seasons, which is fucking insane. Okay? I'm not even a fan really of. I mean, I like football, watch it occasionally, but I'm not really a diehard fan. I will watch this person. This guy does things that you cannot do in a video game. You legit, like, the video game will not allow you to do it because it's so impossible that you can't do it in the video game. But he can do it in real life. He is unbelievable. He's the greatest of all time, like I said, in this sport. I hope he wins another Super Bowl because he's amazing. And that's my NFL preview. Go Patrick Mahomes. Go Chiefs.
He's a
Go win
runner,
our
right? He's the kind of guy I hate.
No,
I thought he runs a
no,
lot.
no, he does not. And that's really weird and very, very right wing. You hate running quarterbacks.
I
But
do.
like,
I
yeah,
do. I hate running quarterbacks. I think football is the most fun when they're throwing the ball.
yeah. See, what makes Patrick Mahomes is not like Michael Vick level runner or something like that.
I
And
always
he's
think
like,
the 49er dude. He was like the runner guy.
he can't run as fast as those guys. He's a lot slower. He's more like Aaron Rodgers level of running. That's about the extent of what he can run. What he does really well is throw. But his arm is unlike any other arm in football history. This guy can run to one side of the field and throw it 50 yards all the way across to the other side.
He's running.
For me, I think this is actually
Got
to be
him.
something that this is actually something to be that I kind of fell out of football for like a few years, and my brother was like, "Bro, you need to get back to watching it. It's pretty good." And I will say the running because these running quarterbacks now they're not like what you're thinking in your head. Because you're thinking in your head they only run, they don't pass. These new age guys, bro.
What's the gentleman I'm thinking of that when the Niners went to the Super Bowl?
Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, Kaepernick. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, Kaepernick.
Yeah, okay. So Colin Kaepernick is like, like a PS3 or something or whatever. Like he's not like they have new generations now that are way better. They run like Kaepernick, but they throw like Tom Brady, right? So these new guys now,
I like
bro,
Tom Brady.
What?
Because he throws.
Yeah.
Because he throws.
Yeah,
he throws, dude.
I know. What I'm saying is these new guys, bro,
They do both.
are throwing like him,
Yeah.
and they're running like that. It's crazy, bro. I'm telling you, it's different. It's a new game nowadays, and it's not like before in the past. Running quarterbacks were often only the black quarterbacks. The white quarterbacks were known as pocket passers. Nowadays, bro, the white dudes be running. Okay,
What do you
the
call
white
it?
dudes run crazy.
What do you call it when I throw it to another dude that's behind me, so it's not off sides, and then he throws it?
Yeah, a flea flicker. You're thinking of a flea flicker.
I like that move too.
Yeah. The flea flicker is not something that people use very often because it's a very low percentage play. It doesn't
I
really
like
work.
it though. It looks cool.
It looks cool.
It looks
right?
cool, bro.
Nowadays, football, bro, it's pretty exciting. They run some fancy stuff. It's fast. It's a lot of open field. It's pretty cool. Like, I think you should give it a shot, maybe. But anyway, that's my football preview. Patrick Mahomes is GOAT. Go win our one, Patrick. I love you. Go do it. Go get it done.
I thought you were a Titans fan.
I am, bro, but it's like I am, but it's like this. It's like every kid in the 90s when Jordan came out, or like in the late 80s. It's like Jordan arrived, you're like, oh my God, I've never seen this. And you became a fan. Patrick Mahomes is Jordan. That's all I can tell you. He is Michael effing Jordan, dude.
Okay.
So how can I not cheer for Jordan?
Yeah, no. I mean, I get it, and I know you're a fan. You're a fan. That's why you like what's his name in skateboarding, because you love a winner. You piece of crap over here. Get out of here.
Okay, let's talk about this. Okay.
This is Siddhuey. All right, first off, Siddhuey wanted to skip this because I guess this is old. And I said no, Siddhuey. This is too goofy of a photo for us to skip. We have to talk about this. This image of this white guy with this funny looking helmet is just incredible. And I remember, Siddhuey, and I'm sure you remember this too, when they
Yeah.
try to add the big hats to baseball, maybe
Yeah. I do
5 or
remember
10
that.
years ago,
Yeah,
something.
I think long.
It
Yeah.
didn't, and it didn't stick. Like a few pitchers wore them, and they looked like freaking Mario. It was like this awkward
Yeah.
giant hat.
Yeah.
Same thing. This is like the same idea. It feel like.
It is, to be so that the really what's happened, as you well know, is former NFL players have sued the NFL in the past for head injuries and things that happened for the NFL,
Really?
right? Oh yeah, I mean yeah. There's been concussion lawsuits because the football medical teams would not be providing the kind of data to NFL players about their health that was needed essentially that is normal in a doctor patient relationship, right? So let's say, for example, you go to the doctor to be and you have something wrong with your foot, and the doctor never tells you, does, oh no, you're fine, just keep doing your thing. And then later you totally destroy your foot. You're like, hey, if you would, what the hell? You should have told me I had something wrong, then I could have done something to prevent it earlier, right? Football players were not given the information related to concussions, and so they actually sued the NFL
Not the
years before.
doctors.
Huh?
I figured you would sue the doctors.
Well, the doctors are employed largely by the NFL, so it's really
Ah,
employing the
it's
NFL.
a
That's a body, yeah,
yeah, I got you.
the major body, and they won the lawsuit. And because of and not only that, and because football participation at youth levels is decreasing dramatically
As it should.
because parents don't want to put their kids in this dangerous ass sport. You know what I mean? Where injuries are so common. So football is trying to do things to make the game safer, so more people will eventually want to play, and also just to protect themselves from lawsuits, which is really the main thing, right?
Do you
So this
think?
helmet.
So, do real quick though, before you go on about this, but I am curious about the helmet. Do you think with the whole parents not putting them in, it also has to do with a lot of other creepy stuff that's been going on with like you? A couple weeks ago, we read that whole article that you went off about the team forcing themselves on another player. We've heard stories
Yeah,
in the
I
past
mean,
with Sandusky and things. There's been a lot of like awkward
yeah,
sports
but
stuff going on with surrounding football coming up.
there has been. I think you're absolutely right, and I think all those things that you mentioned are all the stories that are affecting that. But those stories are also like think about women's gymnastics. Think about those terrible stories we've gotten out of there. But women's gymnastics participation is still where it was before, right? Soccer
I see
has
a lot of men doing gymnastics too now. It's big, dude. It's a big thing.
But then
Parkour.
you have soccer's had far more controversies when it comes to kids,
In the
but
U.S.?
yes, in the U.S. and also, of course, overseas, and that participation has not waned, right? Football's a little bit different because what's happened is, the West Coast, which used to be a huge producer of football talent. Remember, California, Texas, and Florida are your three big football states. In this
Really?
country. Yeah. So California, Texas, Florida are your three.
I'm mind blown
So
by that. I never would have figured Cali would be on that list.
Cali's huge.
Really?
If you remember to be in the early 2000s when USC football was really big,
Okay.
remember that when Reggie Bush, all that?
Mm-hmm.
The reason USC football was so big was they just kept getting all the California talent. So all the talent that was in California, they would hoover it all
Go right
up,
over there.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, go down to SC, you go out there, you win some championships, and that was it. So the reason they could do that is because there's so much talent in California. So much.
Interesting.
Right? So, I mean, look, bro, I mean, you're wearing a jersey of a dude who came out of California, right?
Yeah, I mean, Oakland's finest, but yeah.
Oakland's finest, but I mean, look, we got a lot of talent out here. So, I mean, De La Salle produced talent too, just an example.
Down
Right?
the
I mean,
street. Yep.
yeah, we go down the street, and you're forgetting that not only do we have a Northern California powerhouse in De La Salle, but Southern Cal has its own powerhouses too. There's a lot of football schools in this.
No,
in
yeah,
this
no,
state.
I know that I always thought Southern California was better at football than Northern California because Cal Berkeley's
overall,
our big college locally. Like
yeah,
SF State is a state school, and I don't know if they even do sports. Like
yeah.
Cal's, or I guess Stanford, huh?
Yeah, Stanford. I mean, I'm thinking more even the high school level, and I think you're right that pretty much it's only like De La Salle, right? Whereas like if you go down south,
dude, I have no clue.
no, I mean it is like, and then you go down south, you got Long Beach, you got Mater Dei, right? You got these other like massive schools that are down there that produce talent.
Long
like
Beach is really good.
Bro, Long Beach has produced like NFL players like for multiple years. Like Long Beach produced a lot of NFL talent out there because they Long Beach has like the Samoans come out there. So a lot like the Samoans that end up going to the NFL and stuff, they go out to Long Beach usually. So anyway, point is California produces a lot of talent, but nowadays we're not producing as much because a lot of families aren't putting their kids into football. Right? Texas and Florida, it's a little bit different. Those are a little politically, they lean a little bit differently, those states, and their parents are still kind of putting their kids in. Also, if you're from a poorer family, you'll put your kid in football just as a way to get out, right, of
Yeah.
that situation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
poor families will always want to play football because of an opportunity out.
Yeah.
But in any case, to kind of tie this into the helmets, the point is if they put these helmets, they're trying to make the game safer. But it looks utterly ridiculous. Like, one of the things too is the reason this will probably not fly initially is that this little thing that's covering the helmet is also covering the logo of the helmet,
Yeah.
right? It's covering up a sponsor.
That's easy
Also, I
to
think
fix, though.
yeah, they'll have to fix those things. But I do not think it is unreasonable that we're gonna see this eventually. I think as the game continues to try to be like more safe and all of that safer, I think you're gonna see these little cone men,
Or
these
or
little
or do
coming out.
technology advances and they're able to do it a different way?
To be one of the things I hear that, but there's also the other side to that. As humans evolve and get stronger, bigger, faster, the hits become harder, right? One of the things now about today's football is you got these guys like the size of these men are massive compared to like 30 years ago. 30 years ago, an NFL line, like an offensive lineman, would weigh like 220, 230, right? Nowadays, they weigh 320,
Yeah.
right?
They're
Like,
big boys.
huge.
Yeah.
And then when you consider that you got these big dudes and these other big dudes colliding into each other play after play, the severity of the hits increases. So while the technology may increase, the hits are still increasing in power, right? So you're never gonna have a game that is inherently violent become safe. It's impossible. It's impossible for this game to ever be safe, right? Unless you want to make it boring, right? So I don't know how they're ever gonna get to a point that they can make the game safe. And to be quite honest, I don't think it matters because the American public will watch football regardless. They do not care if people are dying on the field, bro. Like last year, we had that Damar Hamlin guy in the Bills whose heart stopped on the football field. Heart literally stopped. They didn't even want to cancel the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, football was like, let's just keep playing.
Yeah.
They don't care, bro. This is just
This
power ahead.
that's part of football, brother. Come on now.
It is. No, you're 100% right. That is part of football. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see if these caps come in because they look funky as hell, but it could happen.
But
So
I mean,
look out.
I will say though, with injuries and stuff, like even at this year's X Games, people get smoked. They cleared the course. They bring in the paramedics. They take that person off. They continue that contest. And mainly also because there's a lot of money on the line, and
Yeah,
there's no rescheduling. X Games is either happening that day or it's not happening this year.
yeah.
Like there's no
And,
rescheduling.
and of course, I do wonder, like, if there's a leg injury that's different than a head injury, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, in football, a lot of head injuries. Other thing, too, that football doesn't have the excuse, whereas, X Games does. Football is a multi-billion-dollar
Yes.
thing. You can
They can
easily
easily reschedule.
What do you mean? Like, you think
Anything's to do, it benefits them because they already sold the commercial space. They're playing
exactly.
commercials the whole time,
Yeah.
and then they can sell more
Yeah.
commercials down the road.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little bit different. It's a little bit
Bro,
different.
it's different. So they
Yeah.
don't have that excuse that X Games does. This is like I said, this is the largest sport in this country by far, and the teams in this sport are the most profitable like teams all across any sport.
Yeah.
So they have no excuse for that. So anyway, that's
Every gas station across the nation sells some kind of football memorabilia. It's crazy.
Yep.
If you think about it like that, a gas station. You know what I mean?
We're a football country, dog.
We are. I
Yeah.
never have understood it. All right, well that was it for our football talk.
Yeah, that was it for football, which brings
Well,
us to
wait, before we jump off football,
Yeah.
let me ask you this. So, because you kind of hinted at it, you're
Mhm.
going with Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs all the way this year. They're going to the Super Bowl.
I will always choose that because I just find it hard to pick against Jordan. So I'll always pick Jordan. So I'm gonna pick them to win the whole thing. But
Against
I mean,
two.
football's far more. I think it's going to be Eagles. Sorry, I think it's going to be Chiefs Eagles. I think that's probably. I think the Eagles will get back there again. Although it's interesting point on this article was, will the Eagles regress? Which I think is a strong possibility they will. But the thing is, the NFC, which is where the 49ers play in, is really weak. It's a really bad conference. So it's like your choices are like the Eagles, the Niners, maybe
The way you
like
said that, Fat's gonna rip your head off, dude.
and like Fats and I have a big difference on the quality of their quarterback. Whereas Fats is totally sold on him and thinks he's going to be amazing. I'm not as sold.
Okay.
So I think that's where we differ on it. So I'll pick the Eagles, but I wouldn't be surprised at all. I mean, actually, there's a greater chance than not they won't make the Super Bowl because it's random, bro. NFL is hard to predict.
Let me ask you this. This is the real question that I care about because this is the one time I watched the game. They fired, we won't get into it, but they fired Lizzo. Taylor Swift said no. Who do you think they're going to get to play?
Okay, I'm gonna answer who I think they're gonna get, and then I'm gonna answer who I want them to get.
Okay, hit me with it.
Who I think they're gonna get is probably gonna be like an Ariana Grande or something like that. Like someone
too controversial right now. She has that whole drama with sleeping with that dude.
With the cheating, yeah. I think she could still maybe get it. Like it's gonna be someone like someone in her tier of celebrity is what I'll say.
Let me throw one out at you.
Oh yeah, let me hear it.
Let me throw one out at you that I think's decent. Just a decent guess-a-rooney here. Blink-182. They're back together, full lineup band. They've been touring the whole entire world. Travis Barker is more famous than the band is. Travis, they could just have Travis Barker. You know what I mean? And he could play with Yellow Wolf or one of his rap buddies, Travis Scott or something. They could do whatever. That's kind of who people he hangs out with. But him with the Blink Boys, they come out. They haven't had a rock band in a little bit. There's not that many rock bands left that are from a little bit of an older generation. I could just see it's never going to be Green Day, right? Green Day would. I think Green Day wouldn't even do it. I think Billy would be like, "No, I'm good." Like legit. I think he'd be like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah.
And Jer's saying the NFL doesn't want Blink-182. Jer, I know you must not watch football because every other commercial is Fall Out Boy or a Blink-182 knockoff song. Every commercial break during the Super Bowl, it's Fall Out Boy. And when you play the game, Siddhuey, Madden, it's all pop punk.
It is. I would kind of agree with Jer. I actually think I'm kind of saying like Ariana Grande. The likely pick is probably someone like a Harry Styles or some crap like that because he kind of fits what the NFL would probably want to go to.
But not playing instruments. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Who I would like to see.
Who did you just say? Harry Styles?
I think he'll get it.
That's a great throw out, Siddhuey. I'm with you on that. It could be Harry Styles, yeah.
I think Harry Styles to me because you gotta think of it's gotta be a pop act, right? And probably not Taylor Swift.
She already said no.
Probably. Huh?
She said no. Yeah.
Probably not gonna be
Jonas
like
Bros.
Lil Nas X, right? Like Lil Nas X is.
No, too controversial. Jer threw out Jonas Bros. No way. No. They're not popular anymore.
The other one I was thinking was Sam Smith.
Sam Smith.
The guy who works like Disclosure all the time.
I've seen Sam Smith. No, I've seen Sam Smith live.
Yeah, I think He's
good.
Smith would probably get it because he could, maybe fit there. I don't know. I think Harry Styles, though, to me is like a good pick for it.
Harry Styles is a great call out to do. I think you're going to be. And I now get what Jer's saying with the no instruments. Jer wrote that. Jer, you're right. Yeah. I forgot but then you think about the Prince performance.
Bro, Prince, but see that thing was to Jer's point though. They can see Prince performing without instruments too.
That's true.
Like
That's true. Because he does sometimes, or he did. Yeah.
And Prince is just an artist, bro. It's like if you have Prince, you just get Prince. You know what I mean? It's like you can't beat that. You know what I mean? And Jer's point's really correct, which is why the people I want to see get it will not get it. But I think they could put on a good Super Bowl show. I'm not saying this is my favorite band by any stretch, but I think they could put on a good Super Bowl halftime show. Notice I stressed that. Not saying great concert. I said Super Bowl halftime show. And that would be the Killers. I think the Killers, yes. I think they could put on a good Super Bowl halftime show. Not saying I want to see them live, not saying I love the band,
But they're not.
but I think
They're not as popular. Like Blink-182 is more likely than Killers.
I don't know. And
Just
another
for
one, of course,
hits. Just for hits
I
in
like,
general. But I like
yeah,
the Killers. I like the Killers. But
I like some of their songs. I mean, I think they have 3 or 4 songs. All you need for a Super Bowl set. You have 3 or 4 songs, and you just fucking blare them out, and you just go. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I think.
I
But anyway,
I just know that the Story Boys. Shout out to the local homies. I know that they've been on the Madden game and stuff. So that's the only reason I'm like, and they're out. They're on tour right now with Blink, and my mind just went like, oh, I could totally see all the small things. They do like a montage of all the big hits, you know. And homie just survived cancer. Travis Barker's just keeps getting more popular. Now he's a freaking Kardashian, and they prove that aliens is real. So what's his name feels like he's justified. So you got the 3 dudes, cancer free, Kardashian, alien guy. They're like on fire right now, and they're playing big stadiums too right now. I think they're in Japan or something or somewhere overseas.
well, I mean, we'll see. You know, I mean,
Addie's saying
like I said,
Metallica. Addie just got here and he's saying Metallica.
Metallica could be.
They're
I mean,
doing
like,
arenas right now too. Or
yeah, I mean, like I said, I just think it's tough to see who we'd want. I mean, obviously, I think who is going to get it is like different. But yeah, Metallica.
Haven't they done it?
I feel like they have. I could be just misremembering. You know what I mean? Like I
Oh,
don't
if
know.
Metallica does it, Sandman. Da, 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 da. It'll be sick, dude. I'll be juicing. That's the part I care about. I care about who's playing because man, hey, that Dr. Dre one wasn't bad. That Dr. Dre one wasn't bad.
I mean, it wasn't bad. I think you probably agree with me. The most iconic one is still Prince. I don't think anyone can beat that one. Just from like, you also remember Prince had the extra little benefit of it being in the rain.
Yeah.
It was a little bit sprinkling that day, so he was like in this mist with like this sheen, and it just looked. And he's sitting there with the cloud guitar. So if you're someone who knows what the cloud guitar and what that kind of means to Prince, like
Michael was also good. Michael's performance is iconic too. Very iconic.
You know who also another performance that was good recently, I was surprised by, I'm not a big fan, was actually Bruno Mars.
Dude, how dare you say you were surprised by Bruno Mars? Is one of the greatest.
Fan.
He's one of the greatest. He's one of the greatest, bro. You should, bro. When me and BK saw him live, bro, he is a killer, dude. Man, that Bruno Mars, he won me over, and he could play, man. And he grabs the guitar, dude. Bruno Mars, dude. Whew, I'm a big fan.
After that performance, I was like, oh wow, he was really good. Like I was surprised. I was like, oh damn, he's really got some skills.
He's kind of a Prince, dude. He's kind of got the Prince touch, you know.
Yeah, he's different. So I think that was a good one. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, go Killers, but I don't think that.
I don't think it's gonna be the Killers. Like,
no.
But I was just throwing out Blink because it's a big reunion thing, and it's been like talked about a lot. But you're right. I can see Metallica over Blink. All right, let's move in. Let's go NBA, baby. NBA, baby. James, everyone's favorite player, man, the man with a beard.
So I brought this up because this was really funny to me, and I'll give you some backstory for the people who are watching don't know what happened. James Harden went to China recently. This is where he proclaimed, "I will never play for Daryl Morey again," the famous little clip of that. But while he was there, James Harden is hugely popular. So while he was there, let's just watch it then. Screw it. You're going to want to hear it too.
show me. 你问他们平常他们一天能卖多少？一个店铺
A few cases.
就5000单。哦，等于说我让他感受一下5000单多。
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Go! 上车！
一会儿跟可不可以签名啊？
What is going on here? What am I watching?
Yeah, you should have let me prep the video before you started playing it.
Okay.
Well, let's just watch this. Let's just watch this cartwheel right here. Let's watch this cartwheel right here. Just keep watching, and then I'll give you the background because Tubi already played the video. Here it comes. Here's the moment. Boom. James Harden does a cartwheel. So the reason what happened there was James Harden, as many NBA players are, has his own wine. And he appeared on this Chinese TikTok show, what their version of TikTok is, to sell this wine. and he sold 10,000 bottles of James Harden wine in less than 10 seconds, which is incredible. He was so excited about it, he did the cartwheel in the video that you just saw. And this is also interesting because while he looks all goofy and holding his little thing here, James Harden is also requesting a trade from the Philadelphia 76ers. As he has said, I do not want to play for Daryl Morey anymore. And as the Sixers are unlikely to fire Daryl Morey, then he obviously wants to go to a new team. And the team that he wants to go to is the LA Clippers. So it's whatever. So the interesting thing is, and this is going to be kind of a pivot because I don't think people are expecting this. I'm going to defend James Harden here a little bit, and I'll tell you why.
Dude, no.
Wait for it. So James Harden's requesting a trade, and he's basically saying Daryl Morey lied to him. And a lot of people on the internet are like, James, you're stupid. He didn't lie to you. You signed a contract, whatever it is. And I can prove to you that Daryl Morey did lie to James Harden, and I can totally understand why James Harden is upset. It's not about when he came to Philadelphia. This story starts back when he was in Brooklyn. When James Harden was in Brooklyn with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, the Brooklyn Nets offered all three of them long-term contracts. In the case of James Harden, he was offered $200 million guaranteed, right? And somehow, inexplicably, he decided to decline that deal. Why would he decline? Because his buddy Daryl Morey called him and said, if you sign that deal, we can't trade for you. So don't sign that deal. I'll pull a trade for you, and then I'll give you that deal that the Brooklyn was offering you. Now, if you think this is uncommon or unheard of, I'm here to tell you that this happens all the time with every team in the NBA. They tamper, they reach out to people way before they're supposed to, and they promise things to them, and then they try to deliver on those promises when time comes. Daryl Morey clearly promised James Harden at least $200 million guaranteed. There is no way a person turns down $200 million guaranteed unless they know they're going to get that somewhere else, which is what he was told by Daryl Morey. He gets to Philadelphia, Daryl Morey does not give him that money. I can understand why he's upset. Does this change the fact that James Harden is an out-of-shape basketball player who has destroyed the teams that he has been on in various places? No, it does not change that fact. He has done all of those things. He is a terrible person, in my opinion, as a basketball player. I just hate him, right? I really dislike this man. But as it comes to this instance, he was lied to by Daryl Morey. And Daryl Morey did screw him over.
But wait.
And he is not. Go ahead.
Could it be that the coach could it be that it's coming from above, that maybe the coach did think they were going to be able to get him that deal, and now the GM or the ownership's like, nah, and it's not necessarily the coach. Oh, he is? Okay, all right.
So this is not fly. You're arguing.
Okay, yeah. If he's coach and GM, that kind of changes everything.
So when you receive, and this is just a piece of advice is to all the NBA players who are listening to this right now, because there's so many of them.
Yeah, everyone listens to this.
You don't trust the NBA team. They are businessmen who are trying to lie to you at every turn. They don't care about you. You are just someone they're going to use up until another player comes and takes your place. They don't give two shits about you.
Always.
None.
Always.
Okay?
Every sport. That goes across the table.
Every sport. Exactly. 100%. So James Harden's naive, obviously, for believing that. But the point is, he had a relationship with Daryl Morey that went all the way back to his days in Houston. He was promised something by Daryl Morey. He believed in that promise, and he didn't get it, and that's why he's up here setting the whole NBA on fire with his comments. I'm not saying that it was the best course of action, but I understand a person being angry at being, left out of $200 million. And this brings us to the point that you bring up in this story right now that you're highlighting on the screen. Well, look, the $200 million's gone. He's not getting it. And no one in their right mind is paying that to him now because he's not that good. Even if Brooklyn had paid that money to him, it would have been a bad contract because it's clearly not worth that money, right? The Clippers are interested in James Harden. But wanting a player and being interested in them is different. I'll explain the difference. Let's say, for example, let's take Kevin Durant. When Kevin Durant asked out of Brooklyn, noticed how teams were queuing up for Kevin Durant, willing to offer up a number of draft picks to go get him, right? That's a want.
The snake.
You want that player. Okay, it's fine. You call him snake. Point is, the teams wanted him.
Yeah.
That's why they're willing to offer so much. Then there's the thing where you're interested, where it's like, well, if you're going to just get rid of this player, sure, we'll take him. But we're not going to offer you anything real for him.
Yeah.
We'll just take him off your hands. That's where James Harden finds himself. The Clippers aren't offering crap for him because they don't think he's that great. But they're like, if you're just going to get rid of this guy, sure, we'll take him.
Yeah.
So the problem is, because they're not that, they don't really want him.
What are they going to do? Trade Kawhi?
Yeah. They're actually trying to trade some guy. They're only trying to trade a guy who doesn't even start for their team. They're not even trying to trade a starter. So that's how little they actually care about.
With
James
some
Harden.
money and some picks, or just
money and just one player.
And no picks? No picks?
They're trying to give nothing because they don't think James Harden's that good.
Wow.
I don't think James Harden's that good, right? So, the point is now he has no one who really wants him. And he's saying he doesn't want to go back to play for Philadelphia. Here's the problem. If he doesn't go back to play for Philadelphia, right, this is the last year of his deal. If he doesn't go back and play, that year doesn't count. So, essentially, he'll still be under contract for another year after, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
right?
It makes perfect sense,
So he wouldn't actually be able to get out of his contract. So he has to go play. And here's the other thing, too. Because his value is so low across the league, if he wants to get a big contract, he has to play well this year.
Yeah, he has to come out there and run it, yeah.
He has to go out there and play. So he can sit there all he wants and tell everyone, I won't do this, I won't do that. He's going to have to do those things he doesn't want to do.
If he wants to get traded. Yeah, totally.
He's going to have so whether he likes it or not, James Harden, for the first time in his life, is going to have to humble himself a little bit and swallow his pride and show up to camp.
Yeah.
Which, if you're someone who doesn't like James Harden, like I don't like James Harden, I can't wait to see that. Yeah. I can't wait to see his fat ass just weeble wobbling around over there, just, making a mess of things. I can't wait for it. So anyway, that's the story with him. We'll see if the Clippers trade for him. I don't think anything's going to happen before training camp. I expect him to be in a Philadelphia 76er jersey when it starts, and then we'll see what happens as the season progresses. And this also, I should say, this is interesting in a larger sense because if James Harden leaves, I bet you can guess, Tubi, who's the next person to leave from Philadelphia. Joel Embiid.
Oh, I was going to say my boy Simmons.
No, Joel Embiid. Simmons is already gone. He's on Brooklyn.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Joel Embiid.
Whatever.
And the reason
Philly sucks, dude.
Joel Embiid is big is because if you're a team that's trying to win a championship, trading for Joel Embiid would be a good thing to go get. And I'm sure, not saying I've heard anything connecting them, but I'm sure if you're a team like the Warriors, you would be very interested in the services of Joel Embiid. I'm not. Every team's going to be interested, but certainly
I'm not a fan, so I don't.
Anyway, look, he's a great player. I mean, I'm not a big fan of his personality either, but that's just what it is.
Yeah, he's a great player. I just don't like his personality.
Yeah, he's a troll.
He's a troll.
A fat spot.
Yeah. Before we leave basketball, I mean that's interesting about James Harden. That's a very interesting storyline, and we will see what happens with him. But I would like to say that we will be kicking the living shit out of Kevin Durant opening day, Halloween. Get ready, everyone! CP3 in a Warriors outfit. Let's go.
It's gonna be interesting. This one's a really interesting story too. So a little background on this. There was a ref.
I saw this. Yeah.
There's a ref, Eric Lewis, who had a burner account. So that's a Twitter burner account, basically like a fake account that's not associated with his name.
Yeah. Your backup account. Yeah.
He would say a lot of wild things on this burner account. And one of the things that he would talk about is how much his family was a fan of the Celtics. And it is documented that when he would referee the Celtics had the highest winning percentage of any time they had any official they had the highest winning percentage when he was the main official. So, people are bringing up all these things about impropriety, and we know in the past the NBA, has had a lot of issues with referees, a Tim Donaghy controversy, right, and not fixing a game, but kind of rigging betting lines and stuff like that. So this thing with Eric Lewis is really interesting because he's clearly done something that is not great. And you see highest winners percentage of any team that he refs is the Celtics, which his family is a huge fans of. Right? That sounds crazy. The thing that's so troubling about this is this this man is basically, there was a case, there was kind of an investigation that was being launched into him and what was going on. Because of that, he decided to resign, and now the investigation's been dropped. This is really troubling because I want to know what he's doing as a fan. I want to know what.
Yeah, but the NBA doesn't want anyone to know.
The NBA doesn't want to do this. And to me, this is a terrible decision by the NBA because now you just have more people being suspicious of your games.
The referees, yeah.
Of the referees of the games. Like, this is just stupid. This is so stupid. And now if you're someone watching a game and you don't like something or you feel like something was totally unjust against your team, you're really not that crazy to say, oh, that was rigged. But that was like, fixed. Because how the hell do we not know it isn't?
That's all team sports, though. It kind of all of them have that issue.
It could be, and we have certainly seen some crazy investigations in soccer that kind of suggest that. But, like, what's really troubling is when you're the NBA, you need to at least investigate these things a little bit more, and just so you can give some peace of mind to your fans.
Totally.
More importantly, to bettors. Now that the NBA is in bed,
that's what I was just about to say. Look right here on the page.
Yeah. Now that the NBA is in bed with gambling, you need to ensure that those bettors are not being fucked over when they're betting on games, because that will cost you massively. So you should probably do your darned best to ensure there's transparency in your league. And I didn't like this decision. And
do you think that let me ask you this though, Siddhuey, before you go off of it, right? Do you think that Adam Silver or the NBA officials came down to him and said, "Look, you need to retire right now, or else we're gonna shame you"? And then he took the retirement.
Yeah, dude, he retired at age 52. To be for comparison's sake, most referees retire past 65. So with him leaving right now, you can't say it's because of age. You can't say it's because he can't do his job. He is legitimately leaving because he doesn't want to be investigated into.
Or he was forced to leave is what my theory is.
I think the league told him, like, hey, dude, we're going to look into you, and this is going to get really dicey for you. So
unless you
might
retire. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's decided to step aside. But
which is still dirty by the NBA, which means that they have they acknowledge that the fact that they know that he's, and my theory is, if that is true, Siddhuey, they know that he's not the only ref doing fucked up shit.
No, I don't. I mean, look, Scott Foster, for example, we've all heard all the complaints about him from different people. I mean, look, these referees are making subjective calls a lot of the time, right? Charging is a subjective call. Let's be honest. There's not like there are some clear guidelines around it, but
your feet gotta be planted, dude.
Ultimately, it's a judgment call. So when you have subjective decisions, and you have people with biases, bro, that can go a direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Calls can make, if it's a close game, especially if it's a close game, calls make the freaking difference in that fourth quarter, no other.
And again, for betting lines, even if a game is decided in the end of the fourth quarter, let's say with 5 minutes left, the over-unders.
Yeah.
It's like those lines are still in play. So
it's very interesting. I did actually see this article. I looked into it a little bit.
I think you sent it to me on IG too.
I think I did. Yeah. Because I thought this would be a good one to talk about. It's very interesting. Very interesting. I do agree with Jerry. Jerry just said a great comment, and I think, Jerry, you're right. It needs to be robotic. It needs to be AI. It needs to be input with cameras, robots, and be biased, no human interaction.
The only thing I would say to that is, I think the sport that needs to transition to that more than anyone else is baseball. Because baseball, you have a very clear set strike zone. Yeah. You easily can do that with the robot, I think.
They've tested it already, Siddhuey. It's coming to baseball. It's coming to baseball. Yeah.
One thing I'll say about basketball, it's a little bit different. Soccer also falls in this line, is you're going to referee a basketball game in the playoffs differently than the regular season, right? You're going to let a little more things go. So there is so that robot, I'm not saying it can't work, but the robot needs to have like degrees of intensity almost, where it's like in the regular season, yeah, I'm going to call all these fouls. In the postseason, I'm going to turn it down a little bit.
You could do that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying you could do that, but I'm saying that's going to have to be built into this.
Yeah, totally.
The ability to scale, kind of the intensity of calls, basically.
Yeah. All right, well, that's an interesting one.
Yeah,
I think that I don't think this is over too. I think people are gonna be bringing this up for the rest of the season.
No, I think for sure, 100%.
All right, our one and only baseball talk here for the day.
I mean, it seems like every time we talk about baseball, we talk about Shohei Ohtani, right?
And this is the Jordan of baseball. Just got screwed, man.
Screwed. He has a UCL injury in his elbow, so it's an elbow injury that I'm not too familiar with as far as like how it directly affects the elbow. What I do know it does though is it prevents you from pitching. Mm-hmm. If you have this injury, you cannot pitch, right? And so much so that you may need to take a year or two off of pitching before you can even return, if you can ever return, right? The thing with Shohei Ohtani that we've kind of talked about on this show is that what makes Shohei Ohtani so special is that he does both, right?
He's good at both.
He's good at both, right? But he's not the best at both, right? He's not a better hitter than Bonds, nor is he a better pitcher than Maddox, Nolan Ryan. Let's say it's like a big name, right? Or Bob Gibson. He's not better than those guys at pitching, right? But he is so good at both that he's kind of a better overall player, right? So if he can no longer pitch, which he cannot do for the rest of this season, and may not be able to do next season as well, it does diminish his value a little bit. Also, it diminishes his kind of stardom, right? Like you're not as interested in him as a player. He's still a great hitter. He'll still get a massive contract in free agency, but it's not the same, So to me, this is really disappointing to hear this news because the most improbable, unexpected player we've ever seen in baseball can't do the thing that makes him the most improbable, unbelievable player we've seen in baseball. So this is kind of a sad story, but I hope he gets healthy and I hope he can pitch again at some point.
It's the most expensive injury in history, being possibly a $300 million injury. He went from $600 million down to $300 million. So that would make the injury itself a $300 million injury. Insane.
It's massive.
Insane.
Massive. It's just crazy. And like the money, of course, like you said, that's staggering. But it's also just like the fantasy around this player. You know what I mean? Like the mystique around the player, I should say. It's just kind of like.
Well, people thought he was going to bring back the make baseball pop again. He was supposed to be the guy. Yeah, so it's a bummer. But, at the end of the day, he plays for the Angels, and there's no team I hate more than the Anaheim Angels. So you get what you get.
It's true. I think the thing that was annoying, or at least a little bit, is that the thought was he's going to leave the Angels this year. He's going to go to the Dodgers or someone like that. And then
Yankees.
He'll get a bigger market. Yankees were interested. And then he's going to go to a bigger market, and that will also increase the popularity of both him and the league, right? But that's not probably going to happen as much as they thought it would. So anyway, disappointing for baseball.
Super disappointing for baseball. Super bummer for him. Feel bad for the dude. I mean, we're talking crazy. We're talking like Monopoly money at this point, so it's not like that big of a deal. But bummer.
Bummer.
Over the show. I can't, Addy. That's a good comment. All right, Siddhuey. We're in our last subject, which is soccer, your favorite. Let's get right into it.
So you might want to click over to the other story to the right of this because this will lead into the story here to the left.
With the angry looking lady?
Yeah, the angry looking lady ties into the story that you just brought up. So,
and this is CNN. This is CNN. Yeah. This is real deal, bro.
This is huge. So let me give some background on this. Spain won the Women's World Cup.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, great. Shout out to them. Spain's women's soccer team prior to the World Cup had a lot of issues with their federation, so that the governing body that manages soccer in their country had a lot of issues with their federation in terms of the coaches that were appointed, the way they were basically handling them, They were treating them as like almost third-class citizens in a lot of way. And there was a period of time where we didn't even think the Spanish team was going to go to the World Cup. That they were going to protest to such a degree they weren't going to go to the World Cup. Eventually, they decided, hey, this is our dream to go play in this. Even though this federation is terrible, we're going to go play. Play they did, win the World Cup. They ended up doing that, right?
They did that too,
So,
yeah.
and then as they're receiving their medals, the head of the Spanish Federation, without any consent from the woman, Jenny Domingo was her name.
Oh, is the kiss thing?
Yeah, he kissed her. Completely against her will, no consent, which is assault. That is assault, okay? It's, I think
in this country, maybe not in Spain.
Well,
that was a joke. That was a total joke.
No, but it's a joke that has some truth to it and should be talked about a little bit. So, to that point, Tubi, so the kiss happened, and this woman, the woman who was kissed in that moment, experiencing the greatest joy of her soccer career. I was in a football career, but her soccer career. She has that moment tarnished by this fucking dick.
This right? Is the guy right here, right?
That's not the guy.
Oh, okay.
That's the president of UEFA. It's a different guy.
Oh. Also creeper.
He is. Soccer is full of creepers on a level that you wouldn't even begin to believe. You couldn't begin to believe the level of creepiness in soccer, right? So anyway, he kisses her. So she, in the aftermath of that, is kind of like, what the hell? You try to pass it off. You try not to talk about it. And then in the moments after, there's the guy. If you're looking at the guy,
girl?
That's the girl and the guy.
Okay.
Those are the two parties involved in this thing.
Okay.
So, the woman afterwards, after she kind of got back to Spain, she thought about it. They were still asking her about it because it was kind of a big deal. She said, yeah, it was against my consent. I didn't like it. It really made me feel awkward. I've been dealing with this, since then, and I didn't like this. Then the Spanish Federation, led by that fucking dick right there in the picture,
kind of looks like a penis.
Yeah, because he fucking is. Him and the Spanish Federation have been harassing her family and her to change her story to say that she consented to the kiss. So she has been under pressure, her and her family, by the entire federation. Okay, there's your moment. The entire federation. Oh. And she has, obviously, it's been affecting her mental health, it's been affecting her family and all of this, and has now caused a national controversy in Spain. You are having protests all throughout the country about this issue. There are many people who are with Jenny Domingo, who is the woman who has been assaulted in this. And they're wearing shirts that say, with you, Jenny, right? I think it's Contigo, Jenny, or Se Acaba, Jenny, I think is the
with
word.
You,
like,
Jenny? That's good.
Yeah. Like we're with her, we believe her, that kind of thing. This woman right here is the mother of the man who kissed that girl. I should kind of call it this, who sexually assaulted that woman, okay? And she thinks that all of this, despite the fact that she has video evidence showing her son assaulting that woman, she thinks this is all a witch hunt. This is all a witch hunt. Everyone's attacking my son. Everyone's going after my son. So what she decides to do is she goes into her local church and says, I'm going on a hunger strike until that Jenny Domingo apologizes to my son. And until they put his good name back. They restore his good name.
Yeah, why not?
She decided to lock herself into the church. Well, a couple days later, her health is failing. And because her health is failing, she's been carted to a hospital. Because she can't deal with being on a hunger strike. So she's gone to a hospital now. And this is where she sits, okay, is in this hospital.
They must have her on IVs now. They're drip dropping her.
Yeah, they're drip dropping her. They're trying to get her back to, her state. Whatever that might be.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So she has been. So this is what's going on right now. Is you have this both sides, right? In Spain now, the prosecutors are now thinking of bringing a sexual assault case against this man, Luis Rubiales. And as you mentioned earlier about what the laws are like, I don't
That
think the
was a
laws.
joke, but yeah.
No, it's a good point because, like I said, it's a good point because I don't know if the laws provide the same protection to her that she would get in America, for example. So that is why I'm not sure if this case will be tried because of that. However, it should be because she's very clearly assaulted, and that
And
man
it's
should
on
be.
a world spectrum too. It's not just for it was
That's
FIFA.
that's the thing that has kind of got Spain really well. Spain's already interested in the story, but the reason that so many people in Spain are so passionate about the story is because they have become the laughing stock of the Western world, right? You have people in England, which is a very powerful soccer media country,
Yeah,
right?
totally. They're all about
And
it.
they're all about it. And England is a little more closer to us in terms of progressive views, right?
Yeah.
England, we're kind of similar to them in that regard. So England's like, what the fucker is going on in Spain? And they're criticizing Spain up and down. USA has picked up on this story. CNN, for example. They are getting blasted by the world press, right? So Spain's like, we got to do something here so we don't seem like idiots.
Yeah. And rapists, like just creepy
Yeah,
rapies.
exactly. So this has become a huge thing in Spain. It's gotten so big. There are protests all throughout the streets. There are demonstrations. Like this thing has gotten massive. So much so that it's crossed over into the men's game, obviously. And there are Spanish men's soccer players who are saying we won't play for Spain until this situation is resolved, right? Which is a big thing. You have legends, like literally, like legends of soccer criticizing this guy, Luis Rubiales, the man who did the kiss, who sexually assaulted the woman.
The kiss heard around the world.
Yeah, Eddie's it's a good line. And so they are trying to get him to push out. The Spanish Federation has stopped.
Push out.
The
Go
Spanish
ahead.
Federation.
Sorry.
The Spanish Federation has ceased to pay him. They're saying, please resign, get the fuck out of here. But he doesn't want to leave. He actually had a press conference after all of this came back, and he said, "This is wild. You wouldn't. I mean, I almost wanted to have a video.
Wait, is this it? Is this it?
No. I'm going to touch on this.
Okay. My bad.
The reason the video doesn't hit the same for us is because it's all in Spanish, one, and you can't really get the gravity of the words in the same way. And it's a long video, too. It's like 10, 15 minutes. I don't want to watch 10, 15-minute video. But so all this is going on. Everyone's telling this guy, Luis Rubiales, to at least apologize.
Yeah,
at least do that. And so he has his press conference. So you might be thinking, he's going to apologize. He's going to do this. No, my friend, he doubles down.
Epic.
He brings his daughters to the press conference.
It kisses them all creepy?
Oh, wait, this is what he does.
No.
He goes, look at all these lies. All these lies attacking me.
I don't like
right?
this. Yeah.
All of you are attacking me, Luis Rubiales. Why? Right? And he goes, but I get it. You're all false feminists. You're not real. You're fake. My daughters, look at them. They're real feminists. And my daughters, now he starts shifting the conversation, like talking to his daughters. I want you to always be real feminists. Not these false ones that attack me and say I did something wrong. Be a real feminist, a real woman, right? Who looks to men like for guidance, I think, or some bullshit like that he said, right? That's what a real feminist does. But these false ones, they're attacking me. Don't believe them. I'm not resigning. I'm out of here.
I thought that was going to go so much more creepy places. That could have went so much.
There's a lot more. I just cut out a lot.
I thought he was going to walk down a line and like kiss each daughter or something weird. Okay.
He just brought the daughters like, hey, you're real feminists or the false ones.
How old are the daughters?
The oldest one I think is 13.
Wow.
And then the youngest one's like 7.
So they had no
8.
choice. They were forced up on stage.
Yeah. And so if you're wondering what kind of person this guy is, if you can't figure it out, if you click to the story to the right, his uncle speaks about Luis Rubiales. And he goes, all our family stands with Jenny. He says his nephew is a cowardly man. He says his nephew is obsessed with power, with luxury, and with women. He needs re-education on how to treat women. So at least there's one sane member of the family. But this guy, Luis Rubiales, who is not married, by the way. He obviously just sleeps with a lot of different women, and he has had some crazy stories with women in the past. So here's an example of one of his stories.
One more over?
He hired
Oh, no.
hired a woman. We're going to touch on that. He hired this Mexican painter to work as a part of the Spanish Federation. She didn't do anything, actually. He just wanted to have sex with her. So he gave her a job in the Spanish Federation, flew her out on the Spanish Federation's dime, which, by the way, that's the taxpayers who pay that, right? This is a government thing. The taxpayers put money into that. On the government dime, he flew her out to New York City, even posted selfies of it, right? And just
As you
whatever.
do.
As you do. And so if you think, okay, it's a one-off. He only did that once. That was just the first of the 2 times that he's done that. He did that with another woman. He gave her a position in the Spanish Federation, not because she did anything, because he wanted to sleep with her. And he gave her a high-paying job. So if you think she's making $50,000 a year, no, my friend. Bump that up to $250,000.
And are the women in on this, or the women don't know that that's what's happening? They think they're getting real jobs.
They know.
Oh, they know.
They're not working.
Okay.
But he tells them, I'll take care of it. I'm the president of the federation. Who's going to do anything to me? Okay? And he gives them these jobs. This is the kind of person this is, and he needs to get out. The tough thing is UEFA, that weird guy that you were looking at earlier, who you're like, he looks like a creeper too. He's supporting him, that guy right there. He's supporting Luis Rubiales. He calls it inappropriate, but he's not actually firing him. Because you want to know why? Luis Rubiales is one of the vice presidents of UEFA. So UEFA is the European governing body for soccer. They govern the European soccer, right? This guy's one of the vice presidents on there, and they don't want to fire him. Like, nah, he's a great guy. Inappropriate what he did, but great guy. Great guy, right? So this tells you the kind of scummery, that is on this situation. We'll see what happens of it
as it unfolds.
As it unfolds. But I have been listening to a lot of different Spanish podcasts, Spanish soccer podcasts, listening about this. And of course, I listen to a lot more, the progressive ones, not like the right-wing ones. And they're all just like, this guy's brought a lot of shame to our country. We want to get him out, but we're just struggling to get him out. So
we'll see how it goes.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the story right now, and the hunger strike and all that.
Well, we got a couple comments that have to do with it. One from before, Jerry says that they think that the robot should then have a human referee to oversee the robot. It's like a multi-layered situation. It still gives a margin of error with a human. Addie said, then Jer said, #1 mom right there, talking about homie's mom. Addie doubled down and said, Debbie would never go on a hunger strike for me, ... maybe Austin.
I mean, go ahead.
Then Addie said that dude would probably would win presidency here in the U.S., so.
He probably would. He probably is Donald Trump, right?
He could be Donald Trump's VP.
Another image I didn't put in there. When Spain won the World Cup, so remember the photo that you showed of him kissing. That's after everything has happened. All the losing team has left the field, and now you're just kind of setting up the podium and you're bringing everyone through, right?
Yeah.
But in the immediate aftermath of them winning, he is shown in the box celebrating by grabbing his crotch and putting his hand in the air and being like, yeah, we won. Which is very
Elvis.
It's Elvis, and it's not something that a director or a president of a federation, right? But it just speaks to the unhinged nature of this man. So anyway, that's that whole story.
That's that, Well, this is our final one right here, Siddhuey.
Yeah, this is the final thing I want to touch on, which is about soccer, is that if you are interested in soccer, which I'm sure no one is, you should just watch the English league, because they have so much money now that essentially they're going to swallow up all the other leagues, and there's really no other country that matters anymore except for England.
The Premier League,
Premier League, it has all the money now, and it's just kind of crazy. So I know you can't read the whole article.
I can't even. I can't. I'm done. Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, it's not important. I really just wanted to touch on it. The money in England now is so massive that even countries like Spain and Italy, which had proud soccer histories, are just second-class citizens at best now. So if you're interested in watching anything, just watch the Premier League, because that's where all the best players
What about the Middle East or whatever?
Yeah, they're getting a lot of players.
Aren't they getting a lot of players and really kind of trying to compete?
Yeah, but they're getting all of these players when they're past the prime of their career, so they're not like actually at their best, right? So you're getting a bunch of old, spent force kind of players out there. Whereas if you want to see the best players in their prime, they're playing in the Premier League,
Now, do you think
right? And
that will
that's
change at all? Do you think that
man, Saudi Arabia has so much money. I mean, it could
they could,
change.
right?
It really could. I mean, it really could, dude. They're offering staggering sums of money to these players. That money is everything, right? So it's like I wouldn't be surprised if they could, because eventually the bubble is going to kind of burst in England
Yeah.
or burst in European soccer. So yeah, it could happen, but at least for the next 5 years, it's going to be England.
But it
That's
sounds
gonna
like,
be.
as far as Europe's concerned, you're Italy, you're Spain, which used to be the powerhouses. They're out. England's taking over them, and then you got the Middle East kind of trying to sneak up in, while the rest of Europe is kind of falling apart because of England.
Yeah, what's happened, what used to happen to be was like it's kind of cyclical, right? Each league would kind of have its moment for a few years, and another league would come up, and it would just kind of keep rotating over and over,
Yeah.
right? When I was growing up, what really got me into soccer was Italian soccer. Italian soccer was massive. It was the biggest thing in the world, right? Then the Italians, they fucked up. I'm upset about this. They fucked up. They didn't capitalize on their marketing or do anything. So they didn't expand into other markets, right? They never like grew the game out. So they ended up having a bubble. It kind of burst. They got fucked. Then Spain came up, right? And Spain did the same thing, but Spain didn't market really well. They didn't spread out their tentacles into other markets and everything.
Yeah.
They lost. England came up, but England was smart.
Yeah.
England started expanding into Asia, America, all over, and now they have such a vice grip.
They tour
around,
and stuff too. They play games here in the U.S. Yeah.
They start all of that.
Yeah.
So now the other teams are now following it, but like you're kind of like following something that you're kind of late,
Yeah.
right? You're late now. England's kind of pushed over, and the big thing that England has going for them is language. Most of the world's kind of has English or kind of has English speaking aspects to it. So they watch a lot of the Premier League, whereas like it's harder for people to understand Spanish. Spanish is not as widespread. Neither is French or Italian, right?
Yeah.
So English also helps the Premier League's growth, but that's what's driven them to become really, really popular.
So, Jerry says sounds like the plot for Ted Lasso. It does.
Yeah, Ted Lasso, bro.
Ted Lasso season 4, saving English. All right, well that was it for the Siddhuey. We got 2 Jerrys and a 2B thing. So this is the first thing Jerry submitted.
I submitted this.
Oh, Jerry, you submitted this?
Put it on pause. Put it on pause really quick because if you play this video without me putting any background, you're not going to know anything.
Okay,
about
go ahead.
So there was a basketball player. Addy will know him. Addy will know this player most likely because he went to Arizona. Rondé Hollis Jefferson is the gentleman's name. He played at Arizona. Was a Wildcat, right? Played in the NBA
Bear
for
down.
a while. And then, bear down. Played in the NBA for a while. Obviously, he wasn't that good of a player, and now he was kind of kicked out. He never got a job, and was kind of just out there in the ether, just floating. So what he has done in the time that he's been away from the game is he's completely changed who he is. He's lost weight, slimmed down, changed his haircut, and more important than anything else, he's completely changed his game to try to play exactly like Kobe. He wears the same number as Kobe. He wears the arm sleeve like Kobe. His haircut is like Kobe. So when you watch this clip, I promise you are going to literally think that you were watching Kobe Bryant in this clip. If I didn't tell you it wasn't Kobe, you would think it's a left-handed Kobe. Now play the clip. Watch this guy move. Tell me this isn't Kobe.
Well, that's Kobe. That was
Bro,
very.
and look at this guy move on the court, bro. Watch this. This one, like, tell me this isn't Kobe.
That even right there. Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, he looks like Kobe. Look at this.
Yeah.
A left-handed
But
Kobe.
if you're gonna base your career off anyone, you might as well base it off the greatest.
I mean, yes, but like
The greatest.
Dude, look at this. Look at this. So this is this guy. I've never seen mimicry to this. Look at this, bro.
I wonder if he wins the championship if he jumps up on the announcer table. He's like,
Anyway, I just wanted to. I have never seen mimicry to this level at the in basketball. Look at this guy. He's a Kobe.
And what country is this?
He's playing, I think, for like Jordan. I think because he can't make the U.S. team, so he's playing for Jordan, the country. And that's where he's doing all of this, and he's trying to work himself back in the league by playing this Kobe Bryant style. So I just thought this was a bizarre video that I thought maybe people could enjoy. But
I thought Jerry put 2 things in the Jerry folder.
He did put a video. I don't know if you grabbed that one.
I did. I grabbed one, but I swear. Oh, you put something in the Jerry bin.
Yeah, I did. I put this video in the Jerry bin because I felt like it was a funny video, but maybe it wasn't. I just
okay. Is this other one also from you?
Yes. This is Nikola Jokic enjoying this stuff. Let's sing a Serbian. Look at this man.
He's a champion, dude. He's living it up.
Look at this guy.
Is he standing on a chair? Like, dude, you don't need to be standing on anything. You got to be the tallest one in the room.
He's not that tall, bro.
No, he's standing on a chair. He's not that tall, Siddhu. Yeah, he's not
bro, he's
that
17.
tall.
He's 6'11".
Dude, these other people gotta be up to like close to his shoulder. He's not that tall. He's standing on a chair.
I also want to say this: if you listen to the music itself,
yeah, he's standing on a chair. His feet are right down here. Yeah.
I also
this lady's also smoking. You could smoke inside over there. That's interesting.
It's Serbia, dog. It's a different world.
That's a different world, man.
I will say this though. What's so amazing about this is that this dude, the Serbian music, I don't understand how you can get into it. It sounds like almost like
I get it. It's a jam, dude. It's a vibe, bro. I get it. I'm with them. If it looks like it's live, you know how when there's live music, you get into it, dude.
Live is different.
Live is different, dude. Look, and all the ladies are feeling it. When you're in a room full of people and the ladies are feeling it, and everyone's getting knocked down, it changes the vibe, dude. If you're at a concert and the music is going, but everyone's just standing still.
Yeah, it's not the same. Yeah.
His
pretty ladies there. He's balling. You know what I mean? Like he's enjoying it. But I'm happy that our champion
hopped up on a chair.
I love that our champion is in. Look at he's singing that thing with his heart, dog.
He's got a napkin in one hand. He's hammered, dude. He's hammered. He's hammered.
Totally hammered.
He's totally hammered in this clip. That's great.
But he looks great. He looks in shape. He looks good in that clip, though.
He's gonna tear it up next season.
That maroon shirt is just fucking incredible, dude. It looks amazing on him.
Is it maroon or it looks a little like a dark purple?
Is it a dark purple? I thought it was like a deepish maroon.
It might be a deep maroon, like a wine. He's trying to match. He's trying to match.
Wine.
Oh no, he's drinking white wine. He's drinking white wine. He's wearing a wine shirt with a white wine. I like it. That's great.
Oh my god, dog, amazing. But anyway, I just thought it was a fun video of our champions. I wanted to celebrate that.
I love the fan. Yeah. The lady with the fan too. This looks like a party. Man, we gotta go. We gotta go over there, Siddhu.
Well, we gotta go to the Balkans, bro. I want to visit the Balkans, and you want to know why? Because it's actually a very cheap vacation, surprisingly, and also one that's really, really fun. I've heard of people who've gone there, like to Georgia and stuff, and they say they really, really enjoy it. So, yeah.
All right, and here's my last clip
by Warren Nicholson. Now he'll get his money's worth. T.J. Stanton sprinted down.
Have you seen this?
Yeah, I watched it when you sent it.
Oh, you watched it when I sent it?
Yeah.
Bro, this is interesting. I think this is minor leagues, right? No, this is majors.
I thought this was majors.
What team is that? Oh, it's Detroit?
Kansas City. I thought it was the Royals.
Oh, it's the Royals? Okay. Bro, right there where this ump is about to go ham on him.
I've never seen
walk of shame. The walk of shame, dude. Out to the recycling bins. Crazy. I had to put it in there. I've never seen anything like this.
That's some Mets, actually. Yeah, I've never seen that either.
They're all wearing different jerseys. Every player.
Yeah, I think they're wearing throwbacks.
Interesting. I had to put it in there because I was like, man, I've never seen an umpire get ejected. That's some new shit. And almost throw down with a player.
Well, that's the thing why you got ejected. He hit the player, right? I mean, you can't hit the player. Like, I don't care how mad you are, you cannot hit the player.
Yeah, like, you're getting paid to keep your composure.
Yeah, dog. You can't fucking do it, right? Yeah. And the same goes to the players. You don't want the players hitting the refs too. That's a no-no. Like, No violence, please. We watch sports for fun, not for fucking violence. Well, unless you're watching boxing or UFC, then you are watching
Hockey.
for violence. Hockey too, probably to some degree, yeah.
I
But
mean,
like for
football,
me,
dude. Football, you're watching partially for violence. That football is pretty violent, dude.
you're probably yeah, you're right. I mean,
All it is dudes. The first half is just dudes like smashing into each other, and which dude weighs the most. It's like
Yeah.
football is sumo wrestling on a field, my friend. Half the time, come on now.
So it's the best way to describe football. It's sanctioned violence.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's
Sanctioned
violent. But
Yeah,
when you
I
go
mean,
to
I was speaking more about violence as outside the bounds of your game.
yeah,
But like, yeah, but I mean, you know,
you're not going there to see the ref get involved. Like, let's be honest here. That's the one thing. We're not here to see the ref get involved.
yep, yeah, brother. This always comes back to this. We all go to any game, whatever sport you're there to see the athlete, not the coaches, not the fucking refs. Their job is to just stay out of the way and just fucking do their job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one watches a soccer game to see the coach on the sideline. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
no one does. So, anyway.
It would be, yeah. That's an interesting one. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Alrighty.
maroon is a dark purple, is what Addie said.
That's interesting.
Well, that's
I didn't
interesting.
know
I always
that.
thought maroon was more of a dark red,
Same. That's exactly what I thought it was.
but yeah, I see what Addie's saying. It's on the spectrum. Well, we will call that a wrap. That was a great episode. We're back. We're back at we had to take a few weeks off because just internet issues or whatever it may be, but we are back with your sports entertainment. Siddhuey will be running it down. He's going to be doing all the coverage for football, and hopefully we'll have a little bit of baseball with it wrapping up the season there. Hopefully the Gigantos get knocked out right on the way in the playoffs. We'll let you know. And basketball's just around the corner. Who's excited? I know you're excited, dude.
Bro, this season, dude, is gonna be amazing. I mean, of course, we have it every year.
CP3, baby. CP3.
The Warriors are gonna be such I always like watching the Warriors in general because Steph. So Steph's always like a draw. But like now with CP3, definitely got to see what they're gonna do. Interested in the Suns even. I hope they crash and burn, but I'm interested in them.
Yeah.
Interested in the Lakers as well. So yeah, we'll see. It's gonna be a fun year, especially in the Western Conference.
The Western Conference is going to be good, man. The Western Conference is going to be real good. That Eastern Conference needs to step up. Memphis, can't wait to see what John Morant does this season. What is he going to do? Like, is he going to pull out an AK-47 or something? He's going to up the ante. Let's see him up that ante over there. Morant, come on now.
I'll just say, I know because you probably. We actually don't want assault weapons, especially in light of the things.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
I know. I just want to put that qualifier out there.
Yeah,
we are against assault weapons on this podcast. Just as a heads up.
Hey, man, I would like to see Morant actually go after this suspension. Let this be the last time. I'll make jokes. I feel like he's opened himself up to those jokes always happening for the rest of his career. That's his own fault. Yeah. That's his own fault, you know? But it would be awesome to see him really turn a corner. And number one, shoe sales. Capitalize off that, dude. Capitalize off that.
Yeah, leave this bullshit behind. Step into your destiny as America's biggest basketball superstar. Remember, a lot of these basketball superstars are from other countries, not from America. You are America's most exciting young player. Fucking don't fuck that up, okay? I'm sorry, don't fuck that up, dude. I love watching John Morant play basketball. Anyone who enjoys just fun basketball enjoys it. So get right, bro. Get your life together and show us what we all love about you.
And then next year we'll be watching John Morant standing on top of a chair dancing at a strip club.
God, that would be amazing. But actually, you know what? We don't want him at a strip club. Actually, no strip club. How about bookstore? How about a bookstore?
He's at a Barnes and Nobles. He's at a Barnes and Nobles. Just turning up, right? Two books in his hands.
Or maybe like a non-alcoholic place.
A soft serve. John Morant turning it up in the soft serve.
John Morant of the Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, we'll be back next week. Addie's got one last comment. Maroon is a dark reddish purple, according to Google. Addie's Googling the color thing for us. Well, thanks, Addy.
Yeah,
We appreciate it, and so does wow, I can't even think of his name. Luca. No. What does it to do?
Nikola
Jokic.
Nikola Jokic.
I was gonna call him the other European. I mess up my Europeans.
Yeah, different countries though. Slovenia and then Serbia.
Are they though? Are they though?
I think if you ask Slovenians and Serbians, they'd probably say they are. Yeah.
If it was up to Putin, am I right? It'd all be one.
Oh, bro, I will say this: if Yugoslavia was still a country, they would be dominating world of basketball. Okay, Jokic and Doncic on the same team, they're winning the Olympics. It's over. No U.S. are winning anything, bro.
Yeah.
If we had the old Yugoslavia back.
Maroon 5, Jerry's favorite band. That's Addy's last comment, and we'll call it there. It is Jerry's favorite band. So, to Jerry's favorite band, Maroon 5, we'll call it a night, and we will be back next week with another Siddhuey Reviewy. America's favorite band is what Addy